Hey everyone, Charlene Bauer, Ladies Off-Road Network. We are live at 5. Yay! Here we go again. So, some big news coming up. June 1st. June 1st is coming fast. Oh my goodness. How is this year going right now? June 1st is Ladies Off-Road Network's 6-year anniversary. Come on, Oil, get excited about that. Everybody wag your tail. Wag your tail. There we go. There we go. Oil's right here. Hey, Oil. He always wants to come say hi whenever the light comes out. Silly kitty cat. Doesn't want to show you his face, just his tail. Alright, so big, exciting stuff coming up for June 1st. As always, make sure you guys stay tuned for that and help us celebrate 6 years of all this crazy chaos. And with that, I'm telling you, change is happening. Because change is good, my friends. Change is good. Change can be hard. Change can be challenging. Change can be incredibly scary. What word do you guys use for change? Go ahead, come on, type it in. Give me a word. Give me a word. Change is what to you? It can also be exciting. It can be fun. It can be dramatic. It can be so many things. But change is happening in Ladies Off-Road Network, whether I want it or not, because, well, that's just the way life goes. Sometimes you have to, embrace it, adjust to it, say okay with it, say I'm okay with it, say holy guacamole. I've been using different words, just so you know, but we'll go with holy guacamole as far as the recorded version goes. Call me if you want the other version. Yeah, so here's what you don't know, maybe, and this might be something that is new to you. It might be a story you've heard a lot, but so many people don't understand how Ladies Off-Road Network even started 6 years ago. And by the way, ladies, it started by accident, 100% by accident. There was no plan, there was no business plan, there was no thought process, there was no oh, okay, so in year 1 we're going to do this, in year 2 we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to do this. No. Ladies Off-Road Network has been built on change. That's its word. If there was a word that described Ladies Off-Road Network, it's change. And it's exciting-ish most of the time. Very difficult for some people to understand. I'm the one that has to navigate it, so we have to navigate those crazy waters sometimes. So it's very intense from my end, but it is what it is. And that is what I appreciate the most from you all, is acceptance of that. So Ladies Off-Road Network started 6 years ago by accident. I was shutting down my business, Bauer Media. I was going to go get a corporate job or something because I was done with it. Done with all the PR and marketing that I was doing for racers, companies, and events. And I just looked at myself in the mirror and said, Charlene, what's going on? Why do you hate your job? By the way, it was my business, so it was my own damn doing, right? Why do you hate it? And you put yourself in that position sometimes, I hope. Ask yourself, identify with yourself, be gnarly with yourself. What's the challenge? Get to the base of the challenge. Why do I hate my job? Why do I hate my scene? Why am I frustrated? Why am I in that middle of everything? And I'm I work in the raddest industry ever. I get to do all these cool things, but I am hustling past hustle, and I'm done. I'm done. So my reality is, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to just take this year. There's now a movie called The Yes Year or something like that. Yeah, well, I did that way before the movie. That was all before the movie. And I said, I'm going to take a yes year, and any opportunity that comes to me throughout the year, I'm going to say yes to, and I'm just going to do it. And so I did that. And in the beginning of the year, BFG came to me and said, hey, Charlene, we have this event that's going on. You won it last year. You tied for first last year. Can you do it again for us this year? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Yes. And then they're like, so we're doing this one event. It's called 36 Hours Yori. It's a brand new event, and we have the opportunity to put a pro team in. Would you like to be that team? Yes. And then I looked at them and I'm like, 2 for 1, right? You always gotta negotiate. And so I'm like, my friend was just talking about this brand new event that she's starting. It's called the Rebel Rally, and it's about this rally that goes across multiple states, and it's all women and all this kind of stuff. Will you support me in that? And they're like, yes. I'm like, holy guacamole, oh my gosh, now we have 3 events to do this year. Right? On top of me shutting down my business, but at the same time, I'm like, still got a lot of work to do. So I had to come up with a co-driver. And each one of the events was a little bit different. So I went to Nina and Emily and I, there's an event in the very beginning of 2016 that shapes the industry for women as it is today. The 3 of us got together, Emily headed it up, Nina was like right there, and I'm like, heck yeah, I'm in. And I went and I talked to Nina, and I'm like, hey Nina, you want to be my partner at this 36 hours you worry thing? Like, let's kick some boys' booties, right? And she's like, oh, my schedule. I'm like, oh man, all right, well then I gotta come up with a different plan. So I had a 5-hour drive home from Glamis, and on that 5-hour drive, if y'all know me, like, I think when I drive, never let me drive by myself if you don't want me to come up with some great idea. And so I got home, and by the time I got home, I called DFG the next morning, and I'm like, so I want to do like a challenge, like a contest for my co-driver seat. Will you guys support me in that? They're like, anything that you want to do, I will support you in that. And I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. Sorry, I got cat hair in my nose. And they're like, okay. So I'm like, we're gonna launch this challenge at Easter Jeep Safari. Oh, by the way, did I mention that it's already like middle of February and Easter Jeep Safari is like in 3 weeks, 4 weeks or something? So I put this entire plan together of how we were going to find a co-driver for these 3 different events. They're extremely different. So I needed 3 different co-drivers, and I launched it at our very first ever ladies get together. Now, this is the one that we just celebrated 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was our 6th annual ladies get together in Moab. The one that I called Jesse Combs up and said, hey, I'm going to do this. Do you want to join me, or what are we doing here, right? And here's what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. I'm going to launch this program where I'm going to have 3 co-drivers that are going to come and be part of it. And they're like, oh, okay. So she joined in. We had all kinds of ladies from all over to come, and I launched this program online. Like, I hadn't even done very many lives, you know, we've done a couple, but Ladies Off-Road Network does not exist. Like, there was no, this was like, you know, they talk about like the glimmer in mama's eyes and daddy's eyes. Yeah, like there wasn't even a glimmer, my friends, not even a glimmer. And so we launched this program out, and it was super fast, super short times, because the first event was like in 3 weeks, or like it was the top 10 weekend was in June, so we could get everything done in time. And I needed replies in like right now. So we pushed this thing across the country. In 2.5, 3 weeks, 91 women from around the country entered to be my co-driver, and it was not easy to enter. Like, you had to put an essay together, you had to put pictures together, you had to do all this stuff. And so those 91 women, we narrowed it down to 10 through an interview process and such. 10 ladies came to my house legitimately, like old school, 6 years ago, came to my house, slept in their sleeping bags on my floor, and we did our first ever top 10 weekend, which you guys have kind of heard about throughout the time. It's changed since then dramatically, clearly. And so that top 10 weekend was pretty gnarly looking back at it, because there's like 10 women that are all like vying for a spot in my co-driver's seat to go do these rad events. So that happened. We got through all that. Nobody died. Everybody had a great time. And then here we went on to the next layer, and I announced the 3 ladies that would go with me. And this is forever in history books, ladies. Like, this is part of women in off-road. So the very first event that we did actually ended up being Trail Emissions with Cameron Steele. It's an ABC special. If you ever want to watch it, just look it up. And then the second event that we did was 36 Hours You Worry, which turned into, we took second place in the pro class. Hello, you as a challenge winner and me just doing the best we can. I probably should have read into this event a little bit more before I said yes to it, but it was insane. Like, we built bridges and drove over them and like never slept. It was in North Carolina. It was rad. Anyways, we pushed ourselves. If I look back, like, this is the only time I've pushed myself to my limit, was that event. And then that happened, right? And so all of a sudden we have this mass attention on us. And lots of people were like, oh my gosh, this is rad, and all the women stuff. And, you know, it was 2016, like more and more girl stuff was coming about, and et cetera, et cetera. And they're like, what do you want to do about it? And I'm like, what do you mean, what do I want to do about it? I'm out. I'm going to go get a real job. Like, I'm not, no, I'm out of here. And they're like, no, you're not out of here. And I'm like, yes, I am. I'm out. And so that carried on until about the end of September. And right around that time, I was starting to call people and tell people, hey, listen, I really appreciate you. You're amazing. I've enjoyed working with you. But yeah, don't bring my name up because I'm not taking any contracts for next year. And Barbara Rainey, who you all are familiar with, said, you know, Charlene, kind of like in the mom voice, right? Like, you just need to breathe. You just need to breathe. Like, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You just, like, you're in a moment. And I'm like, no, I've been in a moment. Like, this entire year, I've been shutting my business down and not renewing contracts. So, like, my money and contracts was going down and my expenses because all the events was going up. Not a good plan, FYI. But I was going to get a corporate job. Like, boom, we're going to refill that bank account and not worry about it. Yep. So, anyways, 2 weeks later, Barbara calls me and says, hey, Charlene, you've been nominated to be the rising star in the industry category for the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Did you know this 2 weeks ago? And she's like, I did. Okay. And I had to respect her because, of course, like, she's doing her business too, right? So I called my parents, and of course my mom right now, my dad, like, everybody's excited. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. And my dad's like, well, what's the bad news? Because of course I offer them the good news or the bad news first. Mom always chooses the good news. So my dad then asked, well, what's the bad news? I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to, like, take my resignation up on this stage if I get this award and say, well, thanks for believing in me, but peace out? Yeah. Like, what do you do? Right? So it was on that call, my dad said to me, hey, listen, you know what? If there's anybody that can do this ladies thing, you can do it. You are 100% giving to them. It's not about you. It's about them. It's about education. It's about everything that's going on. And I'm like, wow. No, the goal was I'm out. And I'm like, okay, well, I committed to 1 year. I'm like, we'll give it 1 year. And in 1 year, if we can't get this thing off the ground, I'm out. Like, out with trout. Like, fast out. I just, not to be rude, but ladies, I didn't have a lot of confidence in this whole scene. Like, you know, oh, it's just a false positive. Everybody just wants to go on a cool vacation. Like, they're not really interested in education or anything else that's going on along with it. So I'm like, I'm out. So right after that call, I went and did the Rebelle Rally. That was when we won the Rebelle Rally. And then I was just blessed enough, it's a industry vote. So I was blessed enough to be able to get the vote for the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame Rising Star. And then SEMA came along, like everything fell into place. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but we're starting something and it's called Gem Off-Road. Everybody's like, well, what's that? What's Gem Off-Road? How do you spell that? What do you mean? What are you saying? Guiding, educating, motivating. That's where those words come from. So I realized real fast, oh, we got to switch it around. So we did a full-on marketing change to Ladies Off-Road Network. Like, nothing was planned. Nothing was put into motion like you're supposed to when you start a business. And so the very first year, all I did was market research, ladies. Market research, and just took my time with you and went on rad vacations, not gonna lie, and had a bunch of fun, not gonna lie. Like, come on, let's be real about this. It's been a great ride. And but I was market researching, like, what do you want, what matters to you, what's of interest to you, what. Well, every day since then I do the same thing. Every single day, I feel like this entire 6 years has been market research. And when we do that, we adjust. And I continue to adjust, and I continue to adjust. So Ladies Off-Road Network is always in a constant state of change. And I know that freaks some people out, especially women, because we like A, B, C, D. Many of us have that personality type. I will tell you, I am in a routine. We get into a routine, right? As much as it doesn't feel like it, we're in a routine. And so that is part of the fun. But part of the fun also is constant change. So, you know, some of the stuff that had to happen was like, do you know I'm an International Four-Wheel Drive Trainers Association certified trainer? Yeah, because when I saw the need for actual training and actual work and actually helping people, I would always say, hey, find a certified trainer, because they know what they're doing. They've been certified. They understand what's going on. So here I was starting to kind of start to help people, which I still refuse to do because I didn't want to be a poser. I didn't want to be. I wanted to be the real deal. And so I went and I got certified. So Nina Barlow and I are two women that are certified from the International Four-Wheel Drive Trainers Association, which is a big deal. You know, so as you're looking for people that are actually helping you, like, where's their information coming from? Where's the knowledge base coming from? Is it coming from something at that level? Or is it coming from, you know, how we talk about the Bubba teaches the Bubba teaches the Bubba, right? You know, did you know that in 2020, when all of everything dropped out from underneath us, is when we started lifetime memberships? Many people don't realize that because it started in a weird zone, right? And here is a time where I will tell you, I ran the spreadsheets, ladies and gentlemen. I did it. I ran those spreadsheets and said, does it make sense to keep this going? Because this is an easy out right now. Oh, COVID, I'm going to shut my business down. It didn't work out. We weren't able to have events. It wasn't the good time. You know, Charlene moved on and did something different. And I ran the spreadsheets, and I probably should have closed it down, but I didn't, because that's not what I do. Instead, I said, ladies, I am here. We're not going anywhere. Lifetime memberships, $327. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. And by the way, price change went up. It is coming back to $327. So anybody that sees that right now, it's coming back. I did make that decision this week, and I will tell you right now, we will only now have lifetime memberships at $327. That's one of our changes that's coming into play right now. So there's the announcement on that. But it's really cool because it's a one and done, friends. You're either in or you're out. Ladies Off-Road Network, I'm sorry, I am not friends with paperwork. Anybody that knows me knows this as a fact. I'm not friends with paperwork, so you can just put your little laughy face up right now. I'm over it. I'm over doing this membership thing. You're either in or you're out. You either have all access or you don't. I'm cool. I'm cool either way. That's just the way we're going to roll from now on. We got to simplify some things and we need to expand on some things. So right now, let's talk about simplifying things. One is we're only having lifetime memberships. So if you're not a lifetime member yet, you're going to be hearing from me, and we're going to start helping you out with that, right? So it's fun and it's exciting. What else? Yeah. So here's a couple of the other changes that are happening right now, and they're not going to stress you out because it's not a big deal, because things are changing, which also means I saw y'all. I saw your words. Things are changing because they're good, because they're great, because things are exciting. There's a lot of forward thinking here. So there's a couple things that are coming off the list that's awkward, but one is the challenge. So we've been rotating the challenge quite a few times over the last couple, 3 years. I'm just going to take it off the list for right now. It's something that needs to come off my list, and everybody will survive. You're going to survive. I have plans. Don't worry, you will still be busy. You will still have lots of education. The other thing that's coming off the list right now, and this is a hard one because I just made the decision last night, but the tour is coming off the list. So I know I verbally talked about it a couple weeks ago. The tour is coming off the list. It's okay. It's fine. I have plans. I'm going to keep you all busy. We have lots of things going on. You have to give me the opportunity to do work. Here's what happens. I've been a little quiet. Social media has been a little low. There hasn't been a lot going on lately. That means Charlene has her head down and she is hustling and she is working right now. And when I work for you. I don't think you all realize that. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way. You're like, what the heck? She's not doing this, she's not doing that. Oh, guess what? I am doing a lot of things. You just haven't felt the effects of it yet. And so when you feel the effects of what is happening right now, you are going to go, OMG, okay, I'm sorry I didn't support you at the moment, or I'm glad I supported you at the moment, or I'm sorry I talked smack behind your back, or I'm glad that I didn't. Whatever the wording is right now, because y'all know we're girls, we get that way. Go ahead, take advantage of it at the moment, but y'all know it. So the hugest chapter of Ladies Off-Road Network is yet to come. We're 6 years old. We're not even to that 10-year mark yet. We're not going anywhere. I've already committed to a lifetime of hanging out with all y'all, right? And if you've committed to me, you're stuck with me for whatever that means, or until you choose to peace out. That's on you, not on me. But right now, you have to allow me to do some work. And that's what I'm begging of you. By June 1st, I will hopefully be able to announce the new chapter. I'm not sure if I can. That's only in a couple of weeks. So put some positive thoughts towards me in that moment. And let's hope that that is something that we can talk about. In the meantime, we just have to remember it's all about change, ladies. And this is about education, and this is about the future, and this is about great things. Ladies Off-Road Network is not going anywhere. Ladies Off-Road Network is continuing to push forward in the craziest kind of way. Woo! And yes, thank you, Jen. I'm so excited you jumped on for this too. She was one of the ones that was part of the first 91. Many of you are part of the first 91. Say I was part of the first 91. Like, it was such an exciting time. Today is just as exciting of a time. Yes, trust in the process, says Steph. And I just saw Emily say, I'm stuck with you. Yes, you're stuck with me. Girls, it's freaking hot in here right now. I know I'm not supposed to complain because it's not Arizona hot, but you can see the hair. It's crazy that I didn't put makeup on ahead of time. Sorry, probably should have. I probably look like a mess. But, but let me remind you that I have my head down and we are working hard right now for something that is really, really only to be dreamed about. Yeah. That's what I'm going to leave you with. Last week, I left you with something. It was a 2-minute live. It was a 2-minute live. What was the statement? You will never win if you never begin. That's our top header for this month's calendar. You'll never win if you never begin. And I push you right now, again, to think of this. Like, I'm doing this, right? Like, whatever this is, and I'm not going to tell you what this is right now, but whatever this is, I am doing this right now. What do you need to do? How do you need to do something? You never begin, you never win. I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to bring you some work in some corporate job, according to myself 6 years ago. Right? And then you get smashed into things and you make the best out of your route. Where's that route taking you? Are you allowing it to take you? Are you allowing it to do what it needs to do? Holy cow, you have no idea. Like, you got to give it up, right? You got to give it up. You got to find it. You got to push for it. You got to want it. You got to commit to it. You got to figure it out. You got to understand it. You got to go, oh my gosh, is this like thing smashing me in my face? Is it telling me I need to do this, but I'm just ignoring it? Are you listening to the wrong people? Do you have the wrong influence around you? Do you have a positive influence around you? What kind of influence are you having around you? Are you making decisions based on other people? Are you making decisions based on other people that care about you or don't care about you? That's a good one. Let's really think about that one for a second, right? Like, where does it matter? Are you producing something for yourself or are you producing something for somebody else? I'm not gonna lie, I'm doing it for both. I'm doing it for you, but I'm also doing it for me. Let's be real, right? Like, y'all know I do this for you, but at the same time, I have to do it. So look at that list. Like, as you're pushing forward, as you're trying to begin something, you want to start something, you want to get to that next level, we're all pushing it. We're all pushing it. But what's stopping you from actually winning? You got to get to the finish line to win. You must first finish to win, right? That's our Rod Hall quote of ever. You must first finish to win. But how do you finish and how do you win? And you can do both. You can definitely do both. So I'm going to leave you with those thoughts right now. I want you all to think about that. Think about yourself. I just shared with you mine. If you came in late, you need to start over because this will make no sense. Like, this is a motivational moment-ish, but it'll make more sense when you listen to the bigger story. So take a minute, grab a drink, sit down, enjoy the chaos, and know that our biggest chapter is coming right now. It's going to take a little bit. It's going to take a little bit. Nothing comes without work. Nothing comes without work. Somebody said to me, oh, you've been waiting for this today. They said, you've been waiting for this. And I'm like, I've been working for this. Work for it, ladies. Don't ever wait for it. All right. Have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday for another 1 minute live. It'll be a fast one. But I will be here. We'll be square. We'll have some kind of motivational moment. And then we're going to jump into June. All right. Have a great week. Work for it. And let's figure it out. And if there's any way I can help you, you know my number. Let's make sure that I am on your team. Because, ladies, I am on your team. 100%. There's zero question about that. Zero question. See you next week.